Hey guys, it's Main here, back again with another video, and today we're going to take a look. I intend this to be a very basic overview of the Spelunking mechanic, but we're going to be looking at the Spelunking mechanic today. The main skill for World 7, or one of the skills for for World 7, there's two other skills yet to be released. They're going to be incrementally added to World 7 as the world progression gets progressed, as updates come. Anyway, Spelunking is the first skill that we have available for World 7. So I wanted to kind of go over this because I've been getting a lot of questions both when I stream and off stream, in the Discord, DMs, etc. Just kind of people asking, how do you progress Spelunking? How do you get more Spelunking power? How is the Spelunking mechanic progress? How does it work? What potions do I set up? What do I do? Right. So let's kind of go through it very basically. I'm not going to go through a deep Spelunking run or anything, but I just kind of want to give a brief, as brief as a main talks video can be, but a very basic overview of Spelunking to get you guys started, kind of understand the skill a little bit better. And the goal here is to try to give you guys a more fundamental understanding of the Spelunking skill, how it works at its core, and how you can kind of take that and use it to your advantage, right? So let's get right into it. So first of all, when you come into World 7, when you go, first of all, when you get to World 7 for the first time, go all the way to the right. There is this NPC right here. This is the main quest NPC for World 7. He'll give you some tasks to do, and I believe one of the first ones that he's going to ask you to do is go all the way over here to the Spelunking Cave. This first one right here you'll unlock, called Pebble Cove. It'll give you a tutorial as to how to complete this, and in that tutorial it'll tell you the very basics. My recommendation is watch. Just read the actual mechanic. It'll tell you how everything works. It'll tell you how to gain amber, how to break rocks, etc. The one little caveat I do want to throw in there is that the first hammer you unlock, that little rinky-dink hammer thing, typically only breaks one block at a time, but if you aim it at a corner between two rocks, you can hit two blocks at a time. If you want to save yourself one stamina, you can do that. Somewhat difficult to aim depending on your mouse tactileness or whatever. But yeah, you can technically hit two blocks at a time. That's not a bug. It's a confirmed intended mechanic by Lava. He actually did it on his stream on the day of World 7 launch, so it's a perfectly valid mechanic to do. So that being said, positioning your hammer might actually save you on stamina, progressing the mechanic a little bit. That also leads me into question number 2. What is stamina? Stamina is the main resource for the skill itself. You see my characters on the right have a bar. Some of them are depleted, some of them have a full bar, some of them have a half bar. What this bar is your stamina. It determines how many actions you can take in Spelunking, and the actions being the hammer strikes. So you have different types of hammers as you progress through the shop that you unlock. You start with the first one being just like a regular hammer, then a mace, then a mallet, then a flail, then a war hammer. All of them doing different types of damage and smashing more rocks in a bigger block radius. You see they have 40 pixel radius, 50, 60, and 85 pixel radius that do more damage, but they use up more stamina. Okay. So that's basically it. Within the shop itself, there are increases to stamina regen. There's increases to amber gain, to your actual power, etc., to help you kind of progress the Spelunking mechanic. Okay, so that's very basic. How you actually break stuff. The tutorial will pretty much explain and walk you through, handhold you through how to break stuff. So I beg you, read the mechanic and just basically understand how the hammer works. You just smash stuff, you get amber, you progress to the cave as you find the hole, and bing bang, Bob's your uncle, or whatever the English people say. That's the basic mechanic of it. So now the question becomes, what is power? Why is it important in progressing the mechanics? So power dictates what you can break. So if you have the power of 1, right, you're probably only going to be able to break these small pebbles. As you progress further into Pebble Cove, you'll start encountering bigger and bigger objects. You see big stones there require 1,000 power, gravel pile will require 30,000, granite stack 500,000. So as you progress further and further into Pebble Cove, you'll find these items here. These items are lovingly referred to as discoveries or lore discoveries. So in the lore section, there are 2 main things to talk about. One is the lore boss, and 2 are discoveries itself. I guess there's a tertiary thing tied to the lore boss, and that the bonus that they give. So whenever you clear a Spelunking cave, and what I mean clear is just kill the lore boss, it'll give you some bonus. So the first boss you kill, which is going to be very easy because it's literally handholds you to the boss. It's impossible not to get this bonus when you first start spelunking. It unlocks the World's End Island and the Omnipotent Artifacts tier in Sailing. So that gives you the now 5th tier of artifacts and sailing. So that's kind of the very basic mechanic. So it just kind of ties back into this. It's this little like blue color, whatever. It's very fun, very cool. And then obviously there's this new island unlocked just right off the coast of the Edge. This island right here, World's End. I do want to give a quick disclaimer. There is currently a bug, potentially a bug, in the game as it relates to these 4 artifacts. I don't truthfully understand as to why it is like this. There's been some speculation that the reason this bug exists is because some people are overflowing on artifact find chance, and they aren't able to collect some of these artifacts. I don't know if that's actually the case, but let me just explain what the bug is. You have these 4 artifacts. If you don't find the 3rd artifact or 4th artifact, then you will never find the 3rd or 4th artifact if you're playing on PC or web. You have to actually log into mobile, claim these artifacts to unlock them, and then you'll be able to go back on PC and web and unlock the artifacts. I don't know if it's been hot fixed, truthfully. I had to log into mobile to go find these. I was able to get these first 2 artifacts to Omnipotent, and then I realized I had a 0%. There was no percent available on the artifact chests when trying to unlock the Pointagon and the Ender Pearl. So when I logged into mobile, I actually had a 100% chance. So what I suspect actually happened is, if it was an overflow issue, going on mobile underflowed the artifact find chance, allowed me to get these, and then they had a more difficult class of artifact find chance to get. So me going back on PC and web allowed me to finally get them. Or Steam and web, sorry, I keep saying PC. So I don't know, if you encounter that bug and you're playing on PC, on PC generally, or Steam, web, whatever, you might need to go onto mobile. If you are able to use BlueStacks as an emulator for Android, or if you have a phone, you're able to download it and play Idleon there. You can try seeing if the Pointagon and Ender Pearl actually work there. But yeah, that's what the first lore boss does. Anyways, this is a video about spelunking, not sailing. Anyways, quick bug talk. Right, so there's 2 components here, 3 main components here, right? So there's the lore boss, the total discoveries or just discoveries, and then the bonus tied to the lore boss itself. Right, so when you first get into spelunking, it'll guide you. It'll tell you to kill this boss. You'll unlock this bonus pretty quickly. You'll also notice these dots underneath the boss. These are the discoveries. Now, what are the discoveries? They are the actual items you destroy inside of the spelunking cave. So in this case, it was the smooth rocks, big stone, this stuff. As you break them, you will unlock them as discovery. So these pips, these dots underneath the boss, dictate how many there are in that cove or in that cave. And if it's lit up, it'll tell that indicates that you've broken it, right? So I've broken all the discoveries for the first cave, second cave, third cave, fourth cave, fifth cave, and not yet the 6th cave, right? So I think that's 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, cool. So I just need the last one for the 6th cove, and I'll have found that discovery. So there are other ones I just haven't delved into yet. Haha, funny. That I just haven't yet had a chance to break because I don't have the power requirement for it. Ow, that hurt. Okay, cool. So people often get confused, like, what are these dots underneath? That's what they are, the discoveries. Discoveries are important. We'll get into that in just a second. So it is important if you haven't gone back to your previous caves and destroyed everything. It is important for a few reasons. We'll get into that, but now let's just go ahead and transition into the shop. Obviously, you can take a look at these bonuses, right? I'm not really going to talk about them. That's a topic for another video as to what's getting expanded. Big, cool, funny mechanic, whatever. Cool. Okay, so that is that. I do want to say specifically about the discoveries before we move on totally to the shop is that obviously all of the discoveries, as you progress into each of the next ones, they require more and more power. So trying to scale your power is very, very important for the skill. I guess very quickly to talk about outside of the actual game mechanic, the shop, right, as the main way of scaling the power. There's a few ways. There's a few ways outside of spelunking that allow you to scale the actual power of the skill. One of them being the gem shop. Super auto mode allows you to click on the auto button to once you unlock it, that is, to progress it faster. Quick spoiler, auto mode just completely sucks for a variety of reasons, so I never recommend people play on auto. I highly recommend trying to play, manually hitting rocks and stuff to progress. And we'll talk about that again in a second, because a lot of that involves the shop and the various upgrades you get. But the super auto mode as a byproduct also allows you to get 2 times spelunking power. So if you're looking to scale your spelunking power into the thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, into the Qs, the QQs, the E24, whatever it may be, a lot of that is going to probably require the super auto mode. So I would say this is a very important upgrade. As to whether you should buy this, I don't know. There's another upgrade here, bling bags. There's a lot of them. They cost a lot of gems, obviously. But whenever you break a spelunking object, it has a chance to give you a bling bag, which boosts your amber gain by 1.1 times. Also, every time you purchase this will increase your chance to drop by 1.5 times. So buying all of them is worth it, because it has that chance, significantly increased chance of finding a bag, which will overall increase your amber gain, which is what you need to progress the actual spelunking mechanic, right? And then these others are like legend talents, coral, and cod-free stuff. So not related to spelunking at all, just other World 7 mechanics. Okay, cool. So that right there, that's way number 1. The gem shop is a way to scale spelunking power and also amber gain. The other way is the new palette system in gaming. I don't want to delve too much into this, because this also deserves kind of a video of its own. But the actual palette itself does have bonuses for spelunking power. This kind of top right ocean blue one increases spelunking power, right? So there's that one way. And then I also want to talk briefly just about the spelunking power itself. Outside of spelunking, spelunking power is actually pretty important for unlocking your coral reef. Allowing you to get these bonuses unlocked, or allowing you to unlock these bonuses for the coral reef. So you need spelunking power to break these fish out of their caves. The first one you'll encounter is this yellow fish right here, which is in the first map of World 7. You'll find him in a cage down here, just like off to the side of these Equinox broad bass. He'll be sitting in a cave right here. If you click on him and you don't have enough spelunking power required to actually break him out, it'll tell you what the spelunking power is, so you can kind of grind towards that. It's kind of a nice mechanic. I do like it. Okay. I guess while we're here, we'll also talk about the more active component of spelunking, because spelunking has 2 components to it, or I guess more AFK component to it. Spelunking has an AFK and an active component. I already showed you kind of basically, I guess I can show you here as well, just kind of the active component. You just break stuff, blah, 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 go down, and then, you just kind of spelunk through a hole. I guess this is also kind of important to mention. There's 2 ways to kind of get out of the cove. There's this rope right here, which is the way you want to leave the cove all of the time. The other way is by running out of stamina and being forced to exit. That is called paying the toll. Paying the toll means that you would pay around like 50% of whatever you gained back to that toll. So it is not the most efficient way to leave. Paying the toll is not what you want to do. You want to try climbing out through the rope. That way you can claim whatever your gains are. So that's kind of the active component to it. I guess I said I wouldn't show you it, but now I showed you it. So very basics. Leaving through the rope is what you want to do. Paying the toll is not what you want to do. So do not try to run out of stamina. That is a bad idea, because you'll lose up to 50% of everything that you gained inside the spelunking cave. Cool. Okay, let's move on to the AFK component of it before we move into the shop, because we're here. Why not? That's the nature of an Idleon Z video. You just kind of go with the flow. So the AFK component of spelunking is going to these various caves. Right now, there's 4 of them in World 7. There's this one on the first map. The second one, if I can find it, I believe is Shell Slug. This one right here to the left of this portal. There's another one at, I think it's Spearfish. Yes, Spearfish. This is the 3rd tier of cave. You go over here, and the last one is at Coral Cave Guardian, which is the last mob for World 7. This is the map behind a 1 billion portal lock for 6 players. So you need 6 players to go through here at 1 billion kills. And the last cave is right here. This cave right here gives the most experience. It also gives a different type of scroll that works very weirdly, which I'm going to talk about scrolls in just a second once we talk about the shop, the other main component of spelunking. So that's kind of 2. So you can actually leave your character AFK here. If I go to my player menu, you see I'm AFK spelunking, doing one-way open. And as I sit AFK here, I'll be leveling up spelunking. Okay, we'll talk about what leveling up does, how to level up, how to get more experience and stuff like that. So let's go back to World 7 in town. Let's go over to the spelunking mechanic and actually go to the shop and actually talk about the shop now, because I've already actually teased this 100 times in the video. So the shop itself is very simple, right? There's all these upgrades. They seem very daunting because there's so many of them. And yes, you can actually scroll. There is a scroll bar at the bottom. Please don't make the mistake of sailing. Please scroll to the right and buy your Ender Captains, right? Okay, cool. So there's the rows themselves are rather thematic. So the first row is all related to power. So this is how you upgrade your power. And then the second row is related to stamina in some way. You have big time stamina, it just increases the max stamina. Stamina resurgence increases stamina regen. The third one is Overstim meter. Obviously, this will increase the amount of amber gain you get based off of your overcharge meter at the bottom right, which is indicated or is gathered by stamina regen. So it's related to stamina in some way. Then the third row, amber. Fourth row is just, I guess, spelunking related stuff, informational tools, and the fifth one is the hammers and stuff that we already talked about: the mace, the sturdy mallet, risk flail, and unaffiliated warhammer. The sixth row, I'm already losing count. This row is related to leaving the hole or losing the hole and paying the toll tax. As I said, up to 50%. If you have this maxed out, it loses up to 10% of your loot. Still bad. You don't want to do it. You want to leave through the rope, because now leaving through the rope will actually give you more amber. If you take the escape exit rope, it'll actually give you more amber than normal if you have this upgrade. So more amber gain. This is the potion system. We'll get into that in a second. But you can actually get potions or elixirs to help you kind of progress through the whole mechanic, or the spelunking mechanic rather. And you'll be able to equip more elixirs, multiple types of the same elixir. There's this row as well that'll allow you to get outside of spelunking bonuses. So that will relate to exalted stamp increases, getting prisma bubbles, getting snail mail, sigil syrup, which is a sigil time skip, blinding lanterns, which are the whole skippable time skip things that you can buy from the gem shop oddities tab. And then there's this last item right here, which doesn't have a function of the game. It's called like strange scepter piece, whatever, I don't know. There's also this section right here, Shadow Strike. This will allow you to, whenever you hit something, will allow you to hit it again. Or just like without using stamina, we'll just summon another hammer to hit another thing. And then this upgrade just makes it trigger multiple times. This one will make you do more damage to objects. So if you're not able to one shot in an object inside Spelunking, this upgrade will allow you to increase the damage of your hammer, to increase the damage of it, to allow you to one shot it eventually. This one allows you to scale power as a function of damage, or sorry, damage is a function of power. So you're able to do more damage to an object if you have a lot more power than it requires to be hit. So you can scale, go pretty far into a spelunking cave, and get a lot more damage through that. Clearing the entire floor of objects will allow you to get more amber, more elixir gain, Nova Blast, just different functions of it. So I don't want to give too much focus on this, but I do want to give highlights about which upgrades are very key and very important and why they're important. So number one, obviously, is this first tab for power. Power is the main function of Spelunking. Getting more power allows you to progress through different caves. Okay. Secondly, stamina. The more stamina you have, the deeper you can go into the Spelunking cave, and obviously the more stamina regen allows you to do Spelunking more often, but more importantly will allow you to gain Overstim. Overstim is by far probably the biggest takeaway and most important way to get amber in this mechanic. So Overstim, it's not a measly, tiny bonus for you to ignore. It is a straight up multiplier to your amber gain. So I'm going to be, if I were to do an amber run, I'd be getting essentially 2.69 times the amount of amber I normally get, because this Overstim meter is level 1. So normally what people do as they progress further and further into the caves, they will often wait an entire day for this Overstim meter to kind of stack up. And the longer you wait, the more effectiveness this has, because at level 1 it's 169, and level 2 it's 169 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5, whatever. Right? So this Overstim meter is very, very strong. It further multiplies your amber gain, which you can see at the very top here. It is a very strong increase, and it is very necessary for getting more and more amber for allowing you to actually upgrade your stuff in Spelunking. So this is very, very important. Do not sleep on this. This is a huge, huge increase to your amber gain for Spelunking. Okay. Then obviously, as just a base, fleshing out of amber, this row right here, this row right here, and this last row right here are very important for amber gain as well. because all of them will in some way increase your amber gain. Actually, I'm going to try to max this out. Perfect. Cool. There's also something subtle within here I do want to talk about as well. I kind of talked about earlier why you want to go back into Spelunking, and I said I'd talk about it in the shop section. Well, here we are. We've landed on it. So these discoveries itself and actually delving deeper and getting a bigger haul all impact two very important things about your about Spelunking. One, it'll increase the actual power you get from Spelunking, and two, it'll increase the amber gain. Both of these rows right here, they have some scalar for the amount of discoveries you found, how far down into the cave you have gone, and how much amber you've gotten from the cave. So the discoveries one, for every discovery you have, will multiply whatever upgrade number here. So as I upgrade this, it'll gain more power. We'll multiply that number right here by 1.05 for every discovery you have. So it's 1.05 to the power of 50. In my case, because I have 50 discoveries, is a very big multiplier. So actually discovering stuff is a great way to scale your power. For those of you kind of stuck, go back to your previous caves, actually discover stuff, and you'll see your power increase after that. Additionally, the same logic applies to amber. The more discoveries you have found will also increase your amber gain by a significant margin, by that same 1.05 times multiplier. Additionally, the further you have delved into a cave will increase your power. Same thing for amber. The further you have delved, the more amber you will gain. So actually going back to previous depths, previous caves, diving as deep as you can will increase your power and amber gain, right? So it's still a goal to go back to the previous ones. I like that it makes it relevant again. And that those previous caves are used. It's very, very important. And then lastly, obviously, the amount of amber you have gained from the cave will also increase the amount of power and amber gain you will get out of it for all of your future runs. So this counts based off of every digit you have. So if I have like 1E24, that's 24 digits, so that it counts towards 24, towards the exponent of that multiplier. It's very big. So as you get further and further and you get more and more amber, it's very important to go back. I should probably go back into Rust Belt because this is only 710 trillion million green amber, which isn't that much compared. Is it that? Hold on. No. 710 million. Sorry, not trillion. I need to go back and do this because I can get a lot more digits out of this. I can probably delve a lot deeper into Rust Belt itself. So for me to scale my power and my amber gain, that's probably what I'm going to be doing soon. So that's the number, very important mechanic that people often forget about. That's how you scale power. That's how you scale amber. It's a very great way to do it. Okay. So don't forget, if you're stuck at any point, which you probably will, you'll probably hit these like stagnant points in Spelunking. You don't know what to do exactly. Try to delve deeper, try to get a bigger haul, which you can use Overstim for if you want. Try to get, more discoveries if you're lacking on that as well to help you get more power, more amber gain. Okay, cool. What else? Oh yeah, elixirs. So this is often a point of confusion I see among people. What elixirs do I bring down? What combination of elixirs? I am just going to go through the elixirs and just tell you if they're good or not. So the first elixir is good for early game players. As you get more and more stamina, this kind of doesn't matter as much, because if you have like 1,000 stamina, 800 stamina, whatever it may be, you don't need to rely on refunding 25% of the stamina that you use, right? But functionally, how this potion works is, say you have a hammer, right? It takes 1 stamina. You'll be refunded 25% of that 1 stamina, provided you have this potion active on the character you're using it on. Okay, so it'll, I believe, round up for the most part, but it'll internally count. So there's a chance you won't use the stamina on that hammer. So you will hit 3 times, and the 4th time will be free. Right? If you use a war hammer, which costs 7 stamina, 25% of that will be refunded every single time. So this kind of makes your stamina go farther. So for early game, as you're trying to progress deeper into the cave, try to fight the lore bosses, this is an okay potion to use. It's kind of a staple for people early game. I highly recommend using it to get you a little bit further. The second potion just highlights an area on the floor that'll guarantee the hole to the next depth will be in there. So if you break a rock, there's a chance it'll be there'll be like a hole that you go down and descend, right? So this potion just kind of highlights a giant circle, and within that circle is guaranteed to be the next floor. That's basically it. Overall, not that good, because as you can just break stuff and try to find it yourself. This isn't very necessary, I'd say. But if you have like no other potion, if you can't equip another potion, this is I guess fine, but you'll be able to equip another potion very shortly, very quickly on in the shop anyways. The cost itself is relatively small. It's not really that hard to scale. The third one is a potion, again, related to stamina regen. For early game, it's okay. I found myself dropping this rather quickly. But what it does is whenever your character runs out of stamina, there's a 50% chance that stamina will return back to up to 30%. So say this first character, ZZMNAZXC, goes down to 0 stamina, it'll refill up to 180-ish stamina for the character, right? It's okay. Again, as you get more and more stamina, it's less used. I think I maybe used the potion about twice total, and that's about it. The fourth potion is controversial. It's supposedly in some people's eyes good, but in some people's eyes it's also bad. So what this does is whenever you use it, it'll give you an increase of amber gain per stamina that you've used during the delve. So I do want to give a disclaimer. From what I've been told and from what I have seen, it seems like this potion does not count for the saved stamina from the first potion. And I'm not sure about the recovered stamina for the third potion. So if you are using this potion, the fourth potion, the elixir, sorry, I keep saying potion, I don't recommend running stamina regen because they kind of counteract the effect of amber gain. And as you delve deeper and deeper and deeper into the caves themselves, the rocks, the discoveries themselves will scale up in the amount of power you need. So by you saving stamina, you're actually prolonging the not usefulness of this potion, because the further you get, the more likely it is you're going to start seeing rocks resist your attacks despite you having the power to use them. They just naturally scale up in difficulty. So if you don't run out of stamina, this potion is less useful because by the time you use it, you'll be losing amber gain that you would have normally gotten by instead just wasting the stamina as opposed to having it saved by the other potions. So if you, TLDR, that is, if you use this potion, do not run any of the stamina regen or savers, right? You only want to just delve, break everything, delve as far down as you can, pop it when you are like at depth 40 or something, right? When you wasted a ton of stamina using the Warhammer or flail or whatever. And then you'll gain some decent amount of amber, right? This is usually used by people who can delve rather deep, say into like depth like 150, right? We're popping it at 40 will net them some gain over the long run, and not like pop all these potions, pop like 1 or 2, wait another 10, pop another 1. If you manage to recover the elixir, pop another 1, another 10 depth later to kind of spread things out and get you a little bit of amber gain. So this is good. However, I do want to say, as far as I've been told, this adds the same multiplier as the Jobs All Done upgrade in the shop, which is when you clear the entire depth of objects, it gives you a X% bonus multiplier to amber found for the rest of your delve. So just breaking all the objects in the delve layers themselves, what you want to do for that potion anyways, will add to this same multiplier. So it kind of diminishes its effectiveness. Maybe is good, maybe is not good. But I would honestly say, I think in my opinion, you want to use other potions as opposed to this, based off of my testing and my like headcanon. Do experimentation for yourself. Okay, move on to the fifth elixir. This fifth elixir will give you 5 times power, your normal amount. However, every time you descend, you will lose 20% of that power. This heavily diminishes over time. So this is really good if you're trying to like hard push a boss that you're not really meant to do right now. If a boss is resisting your attacks, you can pop this potion, increase your power to 5 times this amount, and have that object resist less, right? So it'll make things a little bit easier in trying to kill a boss if you're just like really trying to unlock a bonus, like for example, Teal Summoning, 30 max levels for cooking meals, which big L by the way. Or, you know, just trying to eke out just a little bit extra power to help you progress a delve. Okay, this has to be used in Spelunking. I don't believe you can actually use this to cheese like a fish or something, right? You have to use this in Spelunking, so you can really only use it to delve. However, there is a massive downside to this in that it won't reset you back to 1 times your power. It'll actually decrease your power further. So once you pop this potion, you're on a timer to try to find a rope to leave. Because if you don't, there's a chance you'll just be perma-stuck and you'll have to waste all your stamina and you'll have to pay the toll to leave. Because you can actually go way down to like 0.2, 0.1 times your normal power, which means you won't be able to actually hit the objects and potentially escape, which is a big big negative to this potion. So be warned, try not to do that. This next one, this potion I have never used. For the next 2 depths, when an object is destroyed, it has a 60% chance of hitting an adjacent object with the power of your hammer tool. Okay, so this object I think is just this elixir I think is just terrible. Specifically, it says hammer tool. Because I've never used this, I don't know if it actually refers to the like 1 stamina first hammer item or not, or if it refers to the tool that you're currently using. Either way, I think it's bad because you have shadow strikes as a function of the game. So whenever you hit something, there is a chance it'll proliferate that attack to another area of the floor, which I think is just much better than this potion. And it's just a passive effect you don't have to rely on a potion for. And the fact that it's limited, that just makes this elixir just really, really bad. Okay, moving on to the 7th one. The 7th one is by far the best potion in the entire list of potions here. This potion will give you a 25% chance of dropping double amber instead of a single amber chunk. As far as I can tell, this increases beyond 100%. So actually increasing this is just a straight up multiplier to the amount of amber you gain. And it has no like weird like stamina stacking mechanic or anything you need to worry about. You just pop it, 25% chance to gain double your amber. That's it. It's amazing. It helps you great in amber runs. So if you're trying to get a record haul, I would highly recommend bringing as many of these potions as you can, with the exception of maybe 1 extra slot for this next potion, the Shadow Strike potion. So it makes the Shadow Strikes 1.5 times more common and have a 50% higher chance to trigger a multi-strike. Now, there's heavy diminishing returns to this, it seems, because as you gain more and more of these potions, as you gain up to like 30 of these potions, it doesn't actually increase the strikes to 100%. Doesn't seem like. It just makes it more likely to trigger a multi-strike, which is cool. But it doesn't make it so you can clear the entire delve more quickly. That, you know, it's not really that good for that purpose, but it is good for helping you clear things, not use as much stamina so you can delve a little bit further, and also allows you to clear the floor so you can get more like amber, right? Cool. And then this next potion is triggers a Nova Blast. I mean, who cares? It's not really that good. I've never used this potion. I personally don't see that much usefulness in this, so I wouldn't really recommend bringing it. These next 3 potions don't do anything, so there you go. So in my opinion, I think the overall best setup for someone that's more early game, if you only have 1 or 2 elixir slots, and obviously carry the 25% stamina given back, make sure to pop this potion before you use any hammer strikes, because it just refunds whatever you use. So if you pop this potion, it won't retroactively refund your stamina, right? You have to pop it, then use your hammer stuff. Okay, this next one, situationally good. If you have like really, really, really low power, like within the first few caves, maybe I can see usefulness for this, but honestly, not really that good. 3rd one, again, see some usefulness for this. Allows you to go to a little bit deeper in delve, to kind of make your stamina go a little bit farther. That's about the only usefulness for this. Outside of that, I've only used this potion, I think, like I said, twice. Not really that good. The 4th one is okay. If you don't have a ton of levels into Jobs All Done, this is okay. But if you do, like I do, I have like 92%. This bonus seemingly just gets drowned out a lot, and so I never or almost never take this really. There's a few people in my Discord who do end up taking this, and they're obviously more progressed than I am because they're 3 days ahead of me. But I mean, they're already clearing Bizarrio. They already have like the next tier of sigils and such, so it works for them. I'm not saying it's terrible, but I am considering not using it at all. I'm just going for the double amber instead, because it's just double amber as opposed to some other bucket multiplier, whatever, right? The 4th one, I would probably recommend people use, again, like I said, situationally if you're trying to kill a delve boss. And, you know, I generally, other than that, just ignore it. Like I said, this 6th one I've never used, and this one I would probably try to put more often into your rotation. So usually I would try to run something like this for a 4 potion slot, or I would try to mess around and try to do something like that, and ultimately I'd probably do something like this. And then for my 5 potion rotation for the amber gain, I'd probably do something like this instead. Just because of the heavy diminishing returns from Shadow Strikes, I'd probably not run 2 of them. I'd probably just run 1 and have 4 of the double amber. And that way, when I start the run, I'll just immediately have more than 100% chance to have double amber. These 4 give me 25% per, and then the bonus here from amber mitosis giving me another 40%. So I have 140% for double amber. I don't know if it actually gives me 3 or 4. I'm assuming it's 3, right? I'm assuming it's a 1x increase as opposed to straight up, you know, doubling. It's like quadratic, you know. I don't think it works like that. Cool. Okay. that was a long time talking about elixirs, what I recommend. So let's actually talk about why elixirs are actually good, because it's seemingly like a lot of them are one-time use, but that's not the case. Elixirs actually have multiple, you can actually use them more than, in some cases, 20 times, 30 times inside of a run. How is that possible? Well, this last upgrade in this elixir row has you gives you a chance that whenever you use an elixir, will instantly refill it. So whenever you click it, there's a up to 50% chance it just instantly gets refilled. That's insanely powerful, especially for those amber doublers, right? So if you're trying to get a record amber run, that is really, really powerful, really, really strong, right? So that's number one. Number two is this upgrade right here. Every 5th depth that you clear will give you an elixir. It's an elixir that you have taken with you on a delve. So again, part of the reason why I say this potion right here, this stamina regen is bad and this stamina replenish is bad, is because whenever you get to the 5th depth and you unlock the potion, there's a chance it gives you one of these two potions, which if you already have this potion active, you can't summon it again, right? So that right there just makes it terrible because you can't use it more than once on a character. The second potion is bad because it's only a 50% chance that your character will use this, and if it uses it, sure, you can reuse the potion, but again, you're limited by the fact that your characters will pretty much always have this potion active. So my logic is you want to use potions that have infinite reuses that you can just click on and they get used for a variety of reasons, but mostly because of the amber gain you get here, or the shadow strikes. The 50% chance to trigger a multi-strike, I believe, is the part that stacks for this, and that's nice, right? It's not like game breaking or anything, but it's cool to like click your warhammer and just like the entire depth clears. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so there's that. And then the other aspect to it is when you kill the lore boss, it'll drop 3 elixirs. So it'll choose 3 of the elixirs that you've chosen, and it'll give you 3 of them. Or not, like, it won't like choose 1 and give you 3 of them. It'll split among the different potions you have. That's part of the reason why I choose 4 double ambers, is because it's more likely to choose 3 of these than choose Shadow Strike 3 times in a row, right? Cool. Okay, so that being said, the main strategy when you unlock hidden elixirs and when you unlock partaking of the skull fluid is to really optimize your elixir usage and optimize the elixirs that you take with you. By this point, you probably want to start moving away from this first elixir. Honestly, in my opinion, once you have like 200 plus stamina, maybe I'd probably say 400 plus to be more comfortable, you can probably permanently move away from this potion, but just be a little bit wary about taking this when you have those potion refillers, those elixir refillers, right? You want to try to stock up on more of those infinite use potions because of this next mechanic we'll talk about is Nova Blast. So the first introduction to Nova Blast that you're introduced is whenever your character just runs out of stamina, you'll trigger a blast that'll carry the entire depth, which will sometimes hit an object. In this case, 50% chance at level 30 to hit an object. So every object it comes in contact with has a chance to get hit. I don't know what damage it actually carries. I assume it's the same damage as your hammer or whatever. But the next upgrade you get is whenever you use an elixir, it has a chance of triggering a Nova Blast. That's cool. It's not necessarily the amazing reason, but it's one thing I'd kind of build my spelunking runs around, because it'll allow me to not use stamina, which means I can delve just a little bit further, or if I'm having an object that's getting resisted by my warhammer, I can keep on clicking it a little bit longer than I'm normally able to. And then this last one is, okay, cool, there we go. Actually, this answers the damage question. It'll deal damage equals to the best tool you have unlocked, which is the warhammer that deals 15 times damage. Other than that, I think this is probably just the regular hammer damage. I don't know. But yeah, this last upgrade will make that damage scale to whatever your highest unlocked tool is. In this case, because I've unlocked Warhammer, it does Warhammer damage. Cool. Wow. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff. So again, let's briefly talk about let's go back real quick and kind of talk about this. So there's 2 functions of leaving the hole, leaving spelunking, leaving the depth itself, is by wasting all your stamina and essentially dying, and then getting forced out of it and you losing up to 50% of your loot. Feels bad. So the best way to actually progress spelunking is not do that and actually escape through the rope. There's ways to actually make the rope appear more often. One of them is this upgrade right here, and the other is an alchemy bubble. This bubble right here, deep depth, will increase the chance of you finding the rope for you to leave. And leaving the rope is the best way, like I said, to actually leave. Okay, cool. What else in Spelunking? So we talked about that. We talked about the shop. We talked about power. We talked about Amber Gain. We talked about elixirs. We talked about lore. Yeah, I mean, not sure really what else to talk about other than the, I guess, the pay to win, like time skip stuffs. So you'll get introduced to some of these, the batteries, from the quest line you complete from World 7, talking to the guy to the far right. He'll give you some of these. So these are very useful. These just instantly replenish all the stamina for Spelunking. So it's very, very good. I wouldn't blast through all of these. I would still save them, be a little bit conservative. Honestly, when you get to the point where you can do Overstim runs, what I've been doing is kind of before I go to bed for the night, pop the battery. That way when I wake up, all of the extraneous stamina that my characters have generated will go into the Overstim. That way when I wake up, I'll have like a level 7, level 8 Overstim run, and I'll be able to run that, have a huge multiplier, and gain a lot more amber than I was before. I guess that's something I kind of glossed over. How does Overstim work? Overstim works by whenever you gain stamina from a character that's at max, kind of like liquid vestment, right? Think of it like liquid vestment. Whenever you generate liquid, it gets reinvested into cap and rate. Same way for stamina, it just gets reinvested into the Overstim bar. So if my main miner boy, for example, generates 1 stamina right now, that 1 stamina will go to Amber, the Overstim, sorry. And then if Squire main generates 1, it'll go into the Overstim bar. So 2 characters at max will generate 2 stamina, or whatever your rate is per hour, right? So if you have all 10 characters at max, all 10 characters now generating stamina, that all get put into the Overstim bar, and that's like the way to scale it. And like I said, Overstim bar is incredibly important because it is a huge, huge multiplier for your character's gains in like Amber Gain, right? Okay. Anything last before I end the video? I think that's the bare basics. I say. I think I went pretty in depth into it. I think I went pretty in depth into the mechanics. I do want to give a disclaimer as well. The strats for this are not finalized. What I say, especially regarding the elixirs, this may not be the best combination. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I feel like I have a little bit of authority having talked with a bunch of people in the Discord. Shout out to Ando, shout out to Zadek, shout out to Smoke. You guys specifically have been really talking a lot about strategy. Ando, I know you have specifically used all of your batteries specifically to test the Spelunking mechanic and seeing what goes best. So thank you so much. Smoke, especially want to give you a shout out to the discoveries, the depth level, the biggest haul, that stuff being a contributor to power. I feel like I just kind of glossed over this myself and didn't really pay attention to it, but you specifically, thank you so much. And then Zadek for the elixir recommendations. I know you probably run like 2 of these and 3 of these. I personally, I think I'm rotating away from your strategy a little bit, sorry, and I'm doing something like this now. So you guys specifically, I know I've been talking a lot with you guys, discussing strategy, and that's kind of where I ended on my elixir run. But you guys have been great in the Discord. Fantastic. Hats off to you. Great contributors to the Idleon community. Thank you so much. At least in the main cord, the main Discord, that is. Cool. Okay. Is there anything else? I'm trying to remember of any other like Spelunking power upgrades. These stamps, I guess I completely forgot to talk about Spelunking efficiency, lore chapter, stuff like that. Okay, that's very, very important. Very, very important. Okay, so lore chapters. So the way these work is every single one of the caves, those 4 caves I showed earlier within, I believe the Equinox Broadbass, Shell Slug Map, Barnacle Curb, Refraction Bend, Middle of Nowhere, and Coral Cave Perimeter. Each of those caves, whenever you AFK in them, will drop scrolls. Okay, and those scrolls you can actually use and gain bonuses inside of Spelunking. So depending on how many scrolls you use will dictate up to which buff you can get, and each scroll has a different breakpoint for which buffs you can get. Now, I've learned my lesson in that I don't want to share this section of the Discord because allegedly someone has gotten banned from the main Discord because of my previous video, which deserves a discussion in its own, is insane to me. But the first chapter, the first lore chapter that you get from the Equinox Broadbass map has 3 different breakpoints, has 3 different upgrades in Spelunking. These ones right here: base Spelunking efficiency, total Spelunking efficiency, and I can't remember what this last one is. I believe it's Spelunking power, actually. This one, you have to use 100 pages at the very least to get this first bonus. And then for the second bonus to potentially appear, you have to use at least 2,000 pages. So when you use the 2,000 pages, it doesn't mean you will get total spelunking efficiency. It just means there's a chance you get spelunking efficiency. And then the third upgrade here requires 25,000 pages. So again, same thing. Using 25,000 pages doesn't guarantee this third bonus. It just means there's a chance you get this third bonus. And then similar for the second lore chapter thing, 100 pages, 2,500 pages, 10,000 pages, and then 200,000 pages. And then the third one is 100 pages, 10,000 pages, 200,000 pages. This fourth chapter is bugged in that it gives you buffs from the third one, but supposedly the breakpoints for the fourth one are 100 pages, 4,000 pages, 100,000 pages, and 2.5 million pages. So using those breakpoints will give you some buffs for those lore chapters. Okay, cool. Now, efficiency. Okay. So efficiency does matter. As far as I know, the all skill efficiency and everything has been nerfed, specifically for World 7 skills. In fact, if you go to the Equinox Broadcast map and you click on these notices here, it tells you that various game mechanics in World 7 are scaled to an absolute extreme, one of them being multi-kill. They require 5 times the damage tier as opposed to 2 times like normal. Kill per kill for most of these talents are just gone. And then lastly, obviously, these World 7 skills, all skill efficiency and all skill EXP have been massively nerfed for the World 7 skills. I don't know if that's a permanent thing or when World 7 fully releases, that's going to revert. But yeah, efficiency does matter. So every little bit of base skill efficiency you can get, every little bit of all skill efficiency you can get, every little bit of all skill EXP, which includes the guild bonus, by the way, which I did test since I just recently upgraded Skillet, and also applies to Golden Ham, and also applies to the new World 7 Gold Food, the Spelunking EXP gain. So if you can get 10,000 of the Golden Saltwater Taffy, drop it on the Beanstalk, you'll be a happy camper because you'll permanently get that Spelunking EXP gain for your characters, and also the Golden Ham getting to 1 million on the Beanstalk will give you a ton of skill EXP, right? Which will scale into Spelunking. As you can see here, if I take off the Golden Ham, you'll see the EXP goes down rather dramatically. So it's very important. Golden Ham is very, very good. The one thing I don't notice is the AFK gain rate. So actually putting on Rucksack, Prayers, or Rushkin doesn't seem to matter. AFK gains scale a little bit differently for the World 7 skill. But the more efficiency you get, similar to mining, like chopping and stuff, you'll get more EXP for the skill itself and also get more pages per hour. And the pages themselves do have a multi-resource chance that is very, very, very difficult to come by, which is the form of 1 bubble so far. I believe probably the pages also give you some, but I'm actually not sure. But these give you the page itself, double page will get you. That's increased multi-page chance, which allows you to drop multiple scrolls. And in fact, when you actually AFK at the cave, you'll see it says right here, I'm getting 942 of these chapters. If I actually claim the chapters, I think you get more than that. Oh, no, I actually do. Okay, never mind. It's actually factored into it. Forget what I said. So AFK wins was actually accurate about that. So yeah, Spelunking efficiency, EXP, it's very, very good. It is affected by Skilled Dimwit, so I would recommend putting Skilled Dimwit on. It seems like I believe you would get more EXP that way as opposed to equipping the other prayer, the Balance of Proficiency, for helping you level that up. So let's actually take it out and test. I want to double check that real quick before I give you guys advice on that. You can see my EXP decrease in real time. Hold on. Well, I guess the pages are kind of the more important thing here. So I gained 3 million EXP by taking off Skilled Dimwit. But if I put on Balance of Proficiency, I lose a ton because I don't have the efficiency for it. So again, Balance of Proficiency, not that good. Maybe if you have the extra prowessary, the 2 times bonus, the multi-page chance, if you have that, it's probably good. But purely for leveling, that is. But yeah. And then lastly, for skill EXP, I'm trying to think. I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think Walamus also has 2 times EXP as part of the legendary talents. Don't mind me. Just scrolling them through. I guess Skillium Fancy Sun, the brown one, will give you 4 times EXP for all skills. That's very, very good. It should affect, oh yeah, stamina regen, lightning fast naps, green 3. That one's pretty good. Stamina regen, as I mentioned, is very, very important. So that's a great one to double. And I don't believe anything else. As far as I know, green 6 is actually bugged, so the gaming palette colors actually don't work. Sorry, the doubling effect for it doesn't work. So this total spelunking power doesn't increase. I don't remember if there's like all skill EXP or anything related to spelunking outside of the power increase. But if there was, it wouldn't be affected by that increase itself. So yeah. And then lastly, obviously the new World 7 armor. This one, as you get the armor set, will give you a 2x EXP increase for all World 7 skills. This is just a straight up multiplier, so it's really, really good to get. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10 would do again. Cool. Okay, I think that'll be enough for this video. I think that was a rather long rant. Hopefully that helped you guys a little bit with the spelunking skill, talking a little bit about strategy, talking a little bit how to scale power, amber, kind of a little tiny demonstration of the spelunking cave itself, what the toll is, what the rope does, why it's important to leap through the rope. Do not waste all your stamina, otherwise you lose most of your amber gains. I guess, oh yeah, last thing, very last thing to talk about is this upgrade right here, unexplainable daily amber gains to satiate the player base. So your highest amber gain daily will repeat itself to you. So right here, my highest amber gain is 241 QQ, right? I have this upgrade maxed out, so that gets multiplied by 2. So on my daily reset, I will get up to around 500 QQ amber. So this makes things a lot easier to kind of manage in the shop in the short term. This is a very good upgrade, especially incentivizes the method of just leave spelunking alone, let it collect the overstim as over time, and then you will net profits through waiting. So as you wait, you'll gain more of this overstim, which means you can launch another world record run for yourself or PB, right? To get more biggest haul, which means every single day you're going to get a higher amber gain, which you can cycle into your upgrades, as I did in this video because I hit my daily reset recently before the video. So anyways, that was the last thing I want to talk about, was that passive mechanic. I think it's very nice. I like that, and kind of changes, or like it kind of fixes the meta around that overstim amber run, right? Cool. Okay, I think I've talked at length. I'm starting to get a little bit of a dry throat. It's also almost midnight. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.